What's up, everybody? This is the Insomniac. This is the Jedi. I should be calling myself the Insomniac, though. um, but not only am I an Insomniac, but there's benefit in that because when you're sleeping, you're not learning and you're not achieving anything. Rest has its place. And indeed, it does come, but it just doesn't come when I want it to. This just came onto my radar. And as you know, I've done extensive work on the murder, the savage white devil murder of this child, Emmett Till, for allegedly whistling at a white bitch in 1955. Now they spring on us on a Monday that the investigation has been closed without any charges. I brought you, there's the white bitch who lied is still alive. And it seems that if she were an African woman, they would have long since compelled her to testify or to make a statement, or they would have found some way. But because she's a white bitch, we know who she is. But she doesn't have to do anything. Yet there's no statute on murder. So it seems a long time ago she should have been hauled into jail, at least for falsifying a police report, just being a lying whore, something. This is a historical case. Meanwhile, some white devil paid murderer, I didn't look at it because I couldn't read it or do anything. I don't know any details, but I saw a headline that one of these murderers has killed one of our brothers in Virginia. And I just thought, I can't give that any energy, and I moved on to something else. But that contrasts this, because why that can still happen is because we've not avenged this boy's murder. And indeed, we're not avenging any murders, and that's why they continue. What are we waiting on? Some law? Because this case proves they will sit on their ass and they don't give a damn about you or your justice. If we want justice, we have to go out and make it happen, everybody. We have to be the executioners of justice when our people are aggressed upon and murdered by this demon. I don't know why we don't understand that already. But I want to read from the New York Times the details of the closing of this investigation, but there's a reaction from the family. But I only need one portion, because this is to illustrate why somebody is killed in Virginia by one of these murderers, these white racist devils in uniform, in a Halloween costume. Here is why. Hear what he says. This is one of the family members of Emmett Till. This is the vomit, that the anesthesia that has sucked the heart of the lion out of African people, and why you don't have the vengeful heart of the warriors like myself. Hear this.
Life, and I tell people I can't afford the luxury of hate because hate destroys the hater, and we both were on the same page when it came to that.
Just a second. This is another fiction that I'm sick of hearing. Hate destroys the heart of the hater. No, it doesn't. Hate is a motivator for you to act. You understand? Once you act, you feel better. That's just what it is. This is a cop-out from weak-ass people. It's like that person who really didn't want to go to that first day on the job or that job interview, and they were just looking for a reason. Oh, I missed the bus. So see, I wanted to go, but I couldn't. This is that. Well, I'm a punk bitch, so I won't do anything, and I'll take the righteous route, as if I'll cloak myself in that so that I don't look like the punk bitch that I am. You see? That that goes against what's real. But it gets worse. Hear this.
So both of us being from the same religious denomination, are taught to pray for our enemies and those who despitefully use us, and we have the right attitude, and that's what she would have now. She would be. We were painful.
Now, he is talking about Mamie, the mother of Emmett Till. And I love how he says we're from the same religious denominations. If it's some mystery, you're just a sap-sucking Christian. That's all it is. That's it. You're not some noble religious denomination and all. No, it's just a fake-ass, weak-ass, spineless-ass Christian. That's all it is. No mystery there, nothing to see. But that vomit. Pray for your enemy. Yeah, you pray for their ass to die. You understand? I pray for the deaths of people all the time. And chief among them, enemies of our people. So they got it exactly wrong. Or they always go only part of the way. Yeah, you pray for your enemy to meet a very, very destructive end, or to die off, or a lightning bolt strikes them or something. You don't pray good things for your damn enemy. Think about that. Pray for your enemy. For what? And that's after you've defeated their bitch ass. Then if you want to do all of your praying, I'm fine with it. But every weak-ass Christian just interprets that to mean don't do anything, just sit back and pray for them. Emmett Till has been in the grave since 1955. No praying is going to do a damn thing, because we are the ones we're waiting on. God helps those who help themselves, everybody. You got to take an initiative. That's what true faith is. And God is not a fair weather friend. You understand? You got to trust him in peace, but you got to trust him in war. Your responsibility is to stand on righteousness. And we've always had the right ground. But that is the ingredient of why their ass is sitting up there with gray hair and one foot on a banana peel and the other one in the grave. Still no fight. None at all. None. These are the people that have let us down and are continuing to let us down, everybody, is this older generation. They were punk bitches from the beginning, and they are punk bitches now, and they're spreading that infection to the younger ones. It's very sad. We've seen this bitch. We know where she stay at. You think if the tables were turned and that was a black woman and a white kid had been murdered, you think that bitch would still be alive? I doubt it. I doubt it. Here is a picture of her whore ass. They're the bitches. You see? That's why I always say, when you see one of them that are old and they try to act like they nice and everything, no, them bitches they old enough to have murdered some of our people. They were at some of the big rallies for lynching us and burning us at the stake and all of it. There are no innocent ones. None. None. It makes me sick, dude. But here is the white devil vomit of why they have closed the investigation. Justice Department, I'm reading from the New York Times. Justice Department closes Emmett Till investigation without charges. The department said it would not corroborate a book's claim that a central witness had recanted her statement about Emmett, a black boy killed by two white devils in 1955. Hear that opening, and that's sort of the lead in. Well, I can't get both of these up here now. You see, it would not corroborate a book's claim. In other words, we're not denying it. We just won't corroborate it because it's the truth. So that's white speak. Now, we don't really care what the book says that she recanted, because that means we have to go and pursue her white ass. You understand? But we don't need any agencies. We should have been at the bitch's house. You understand? Justice could have been exacted a long time ago. You see, they waste no time. They imagine that they've lost an election and they storm the Capitol building, and we can't find one white bitch that killed this young brother. We're in exactly the wrong frame of mind about everything all the damn time. I'm sick and tired of it. The Justice Department, which is a joke to call it a Justice Department, announced on Monday that it had closed an investigation into the abduction and murder of Emmett Till, the African teenager, it wasn't a teenager, whose gruesome killing by two white devils, more than 6 decades ago in Mississippi helped begin the civil rights movement. In a news release dated 6 December, federal officials said, just white people, not federal officials, just more white people, announced that there was not enough evidence to pursue charges in the case. Really? After 60 years, you can't find anything. Not enough evidence to pursue charges in the case, which was reopened after a historian claimed in a book, a historian no less, not some random, freak writer, it's a historian, claimed in a book that Carolyn Bryant, this white whore, Carolyn Bryant Donham, the central witness whose account of an encounter with Emmett led to his death, had recanted the most salacious portion of her story, and he had grabbed her and made sexually suggestive remarks. We believe that a young kid like this did that. He's a child. A child, everybody. And the bitch was about as attractive then in 1955 as she is there in this picture. You understand? Citing the status of limitations, citing the statute of limitations and the white bitch's denial that she had ever changed her story. So again, not just the statute, which there is no statute on murder, so that's a lie, but notice that they said, citing the statute of limitations and the white bitch's denial. So the fact that she denies it, and because her word is second only to the gospel, it must be the truth because she's a white bitch. Of course, we have to take what she says into account, and the denial that she ever changed her story. The Justice Department said it would not move forward with prosecuting her for perjury. You see? But you can go and dig up some shit from the time of King Tut over Bill Cosby and bring that forward. Do you understand? I mean, the level of bullshit here is just off the radar, dude. At the very least, the public outcry, where there's smoke, there's fire. She changed her story. She did. She did. And then she didn't want to make any more comments about it. You see? But again, you don't just take her, well, she doesn't want to talk about it, so we just have to let it go. Where do they do that at? They don't care if you want to make statements or not. They have ways of, listen, I got 6 boys from Central Park who were made to make statements that incriminated themselves when they weren't guilty of a damn thing but being black. Do you understand? They were denied attorneys and they were denied their parents' presence and everything, and they were underage. Oh, they're happy to compel anybody when it's not their white ass. But this white bitch, her word is the law of Moses. You see? It's collusive. So there's no difference in her and this damn Justice Department. They're all the same. There's no difference. Titles mean nothing. All we look for is the marker, this pig-colored skin, and we know there's collusion. I'm over it. During a moment in the trial in which jurors were not present, this white bitch claimed that the teenager had made sexually vulgar comments toward her and physical contact. Huh? But in a book published in 2017, The Blood of Emmett Till by Timothy Tyson, the author wrote that the white bitch had recanted her testimony in a 2008 interview, saying that the earlier stories she told were not true. And by the way, if they were truly interested in justice, they would snatch up the author of this book and put him through a deposition, take his statement on record, which would be punishable by perjury. You understand? This is not a difficult thing. You don't even have to be a lawyer. You go get this bitch, snatch her up, you bring in the author. He swears in an affidavit and under penalty of perjury that this is what the bitch said. Oh, by the way, if she didn't say it, then why would it be in his book? Seems she would have a lawsuit saying, I'm outraged that he would have said I changed my story. But that never happened. So they're selling us a bill of goods. We know that. Our question is why? Why now? Why the timing? Why Monday? Whatever day of the month this is. Because it's right before Christmas and you're not supposed to really care. You understand? Nah. That's why I stay with a chip on my damn shoulder. Shit don't change. You understand? I don't care if it's a meteor strike, bitch. I'm still mad. But then she recants and said the story that she told were not true. Nothing, quote, nothing that boy did could ever this is a quotation from the book. Quote, that means that strengthens my previous legal argument, saying that she would have libel if he had printed this and she didn't say it. But here it is in quotations, quote, let me show y'all. Quote, you're not going to be able to see it. Nothing that boy did ever could justify what happened to him. The lying whore, end quote. The author, a researcher and historian at Duke University, quotes this lying whore as saying in the book. All right. Wait, I should have just left that up because this is a disaster trying to, well, maybe it'll work. We'll just see. I've done it now. The lying whore's claim generated outrage and renewed calls for the case to be reopened. Kristen Clark, who leads the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division, delivered the news to the family in person that the case was formally closed. You see, in a statement on Monday, Justice Department said the lying whore, despite saying he had recorded, or the author said, despite saying he had recorded 2 interviews with this lying whore, provided just one recording to the FBI that did not contain the recantation. Mr. Tyson, the author, has said that although he did not record the whore's recantation, he took detailed notes. But forget that. The fact is, he used quotations. Once you use a quotation, it's libel if what you're saying is not true. So you could still bring prosecution and bring her in for statements, and then the burden is on her to say that's a lie. Libel stands. If I say your mother's a whore, you can go, that's slander, and you take me into court. All I got to do is prove your mother's a whore. That's it. I win. I didn't lie. So it's not libel. So just bring her in and have her say this was a lie. And we got him under oath and her under oath. They're not interested in justice, everybody. They're not. They're not. And because they know that they're dealing with weak-minded ass Christians, then they can just sell you anything. Because you're not interested in being angry, you know. And vengeance is definitely out, so, you know, what are you left with? Detailed notes. The whore started spilling the beans before I got the recorder going. This is a quote from the author. I documented her words carefully. The author said in an email on Monday, adding, my reporting is rock solid, end quote. So he's standing by his reporting, you understand, and his career, quite frankly. You know, in journalism, your name matters. You know, are you solid or not? And certainly as an author. At a news conference in Chicago on Monday afternoon, Emmett's weak-ass family said they were disappointed by the results of the investigation, but were not surprised. Quote, I did not expect that they would have found any new evidence, said Ole Gordon, one of Emmett's cousins, adding, quote, I ask, where do we go from here? Well, you just take your bitch ass to the grave because you're not willing to fight or do anything about it, so you shouldn't even ask the question. Just go back to whatever the fuck you were doing before this ever happened, you defeatist ass bastard. The Reverend Wheeler Parker Jr., Emmett's cousin, said best friend, who was in the Mississippi Delta house when Emmett was kidnapped in the middle of the night by these white demons, said the conclusion of the investigation marked the end of a painful 66 years for Emmett's loved ones. Today is a day that we will never forget, he said. For 66 years, we have suffered pain for his loss, and I suffered tremendously because of the way that they painted him. Well, you didn't do anything. And you've already said that hatred just kills the person, the hole in the hate, and all the other vomit. So just not really feeling sorry for you. Go take a Tylenol or an Advil or something. I don't know what to diagnose you. Miss Donham, the lying white whore, who's 87, has rarely spoken publicly about the case. Her former husband and another man confessed to Emmett's murder, though the confessions came after they were acquitted by an all-white jury of more white demons. Both men are dead, thank God. In the summer of 55, 14-year-old Emmett traveled from Chicago to Mississippi Delta to visit relatives. We know the story. We're not going to read it. It'll save us time. Days later, the lying white whore and her husband and his half-brother kidnapped, tortured, and shot Emmett and mutilated him. Then they tied a 75-pound cotton gin fan around his neck and tossed his body into a river. His corpse broken, battered, and mutilated, was retrieved from the water on the last day of August. Mamie, his mother, insisted on an open coffin funeral. We know about that. Despite passage of time and the civil rights movement, Emmett's death has never faded from public memory. It has often been invoked as an enduring symbol of deep, unbridled white devil racism. Historic markers erected at sites connected to his death have repeatedly been vandalized. You see what I'm saying? So they kill you and they vandalize the memorials that we erect for the ones of ours that they've murdered. This is the devil we're dealing with, everybody. And I'm sick and tired of black people not identifying these fucking people as such. Do you understand? If you can't identify them as that, I don't need to have shit to do with you. At all. At all. The marker near the river where his body was found has been replaced at least 3 times because of white savagery and vandalism and damage by bullets. Mississippi has never escaped the story of Emmett Till, and nor should it, said Susan Glisson, who worked with the town of Summer, Mississippi, which issued a public apology and formed the Emmett Till Memorial Commission. In closing its investigation, the Justice Department said that the lying whore denied ever recanting her earlier testimony. In 2018, the lying whore's daughter-in-law, Marcia, who was present for the interview with the author, said that the bitch never recanted. And of course she would say that. You understand? Like, white people sit and lie in courts of law as if they were never even put under oath. You understand? Their word means nothing. The very word deception is a definition of them. Do you understand? So I can't, dude. Before the current investigation, federal officials last revisited the case in 2004. They closed it 2 years later after prosecutors determined that the statute of limitations kept them from pursuing additional federal charges. As part of that inquiry, Emmett's body was exhumed. The latest investigation was part of the Justice Department's larger review of cases believed to be motivated by racial hatred. Over the past 15 years, the department has led several successful investigations, including the prosecution of Edgar Ray Killen, who died in prison after 4 years ago, was a former Klansman who arranged the murder of 3 civil rights workers in Mississippi in 1964. Cold cases never closed, said Keith Bach, somebody, a filmmaker and producer of the untold story of Emmett Till and the upcoming film Till. There still may be a way he continued to revisit one of the greatest injustices committed upon a child in American history. I love that. I love that. Listen, you are never going to get any justice, everybody, that you don't go out and take. Do you understand? And you say, fuck these hypocrites, because they've had every chance to make everything right that should have been righted. And they've shown unequivocally they have no interest in that. Do you understand? So we need to, I'm just sick and tired of the stand around and wait. I'm really just sick and tired of it. I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm just sick and tired of it. Anyways, what are your thoughts, everybody? Thumbs up, share the video, and I'll see you soon. This is the Jedi.